Coach Claire here. It's week 3, and hopefully you're into your strength training. Fall is coming. We're not sure what fall is going to look like, we know that, but we know we're going to have a season, and we want to be ready for that. We hope that, again, you are continuing your strength training, but you know there's more to getting ready and being a complete athlete than just your strength training. A functional athlete is much like, and I'm going to show you something here, is much like a 3-legged stool. To function, this stool needs 3 basic pillars. As a functional athlete, you're going to need 3 basic pillars too. Certainly, your working out is a big part of that, but we also need to include proper eating and proper rest and recovery. Those are your 3 basic pillars for your stool to be a functional athlete. Now, if you minimize or neglect any one of those, your stool or your athleticism will suffer. You just won't function well. What we included this week in your workouts was also a Windsor Iron Knights nutrition plan. It was attached with the workout. What this does is give you an overview of some good ideas on proper eating and basically a strategy for low-fat eating. Now, does fat affect your performance as an athlete? Well, in my own experience, I can tell you this. As an older athlete, as an elderly athlete, I'd almost say, I certainly feel it. As my metabolism slows down, it's harder and harder to keep fat off my body. And as I do my races, I see my performance is a challenge to me. So let me ask you a question. Do you think that your performance could be affected by weight? Do you think that your speed is influenced by, say, even 5 pounds of fat? Well, to help you answer those questions, Coach S is going to give you a little bit more detail on how fat does play a role in being a complete athlete.
Coach S here. As Coach Claire said, I'm going to allude a little bit to weight gain and specifically fat gain. So it's only natural going through these last couple months, all the additional stress everyone's under, the increase of the cost of quality food, it's only natural that you're putting on a little bit of weight. So I'm going to be talking about whether that weight gain is good, bad, and what we can do about it. So I'm sure most of you have seen thoroughbred horses, Kentucky Derby horses. If not, they're very large, muscular, powerful animals capable of running up to 45 miles an hour with a person on their back. Now, how much weight do you think it would take to slow a horse like that down? 100 pounds? 50? 30? No. Only 2 to 5 pounds. 2 to 5 pounds on a 1,300-pound animal can slow them down up to 8 feet. That's a horse length. In a sport that's often determined by a nose, 8 feet is dramatic difference. 1 or 2 of these 2.5-pound plates on a 1,300-pound animal can slow it down up to 8 feet. What do you think weight gain is going to do for your average human athlete? Luckily, we've had some studies that show us exactly what it'll do. For your average 170-pound athlete, a weight gain, a fat gain specifically, of 2%, which is about 3.5 pounds, can lead to a decrease in a vertical jump of 2 inches, and a 40-yard dash time, it'll add about 0.26 seconds, or a quarter of a second to your 40-yard dash time. If you're not familiar with the 40-yard dash, a quarter of a second is an absolute eternity. And that's 3.5 pounds on a 170-pound athlete. That's not much at all. So you can imagine, quarantine 15, some of you probably are there, that's all right, but just imagine what 15 additional pounds on your body is. That's this right here, 15-pound dumbbell. Imagine carrying this on your body all day long, running with it, sprinting with it, doing all of your athletics with this on your body. Because fat is pretty much just extra weight. So What about muscle gain, coach? Is that going to do the exact same thing? No. Muscle gain is going to help your performance. Fat gain, like I said, pretty much just carrying around that extra dumbbell. Muscle gain though, muscle is what powers your performance. It's what gives you your power. So if you gain muscle, it's just going to up your power. Any weight gain that you're going to have is more than offset by that muscle power that you're getting from the additional muscle. So, just to reiterate, small, minuscule amounts of fat gain can have huge decrements on your performance. Muscle gain, good. Easy way to tell the difference, if you're gaining weight and your clothes are fitting better, specifically your pants, you're probably solid. If you're gaining weight, your pants are fitting tighter, probably not so good. So, like I said, weight gain in itself is not a bad thing. Fat gain is what you want to look out for. So, again, fat gain, bad, muscle gain, good, and with that, our nutrition program is built around those two things: minimizing fat gain, or maximizing fat loss, especially, and increasing your muscle mass. So, with that said, Coach Claire is going to talk to you a little bit more on how we're going to educate you on that, and wrap it up.
As Coach S just finished saying, fat bad, muscle good. So how do we go about that with a good eating plan? As I mentioned, we've given you the Windsor Black Knights nutrition plan attached to your workout. Now, as you look at that that nutrition plan, just real briefly, what you're going to see on the left side is meals and things that you'll want to include daily, and options across the top to give you a lot of different options of what you could include in those meals. I'm not going to go through this word for word. I want you to take a look at this. But what's important is find food that you enjoy eating. The nutrition plan that you'll see here is going to give you real food, not crazy stuff out of a nutrition store. It's things that you can buy right at your local grocery store. But find things that you enjoy eating that fit within these categories of low fat, high complex carbohydrates, and high protein. That way you're more likely to stick to it. So in closing, what I'm going to ask you to do, take a good look at it. Give it a try. Please, please ask questions of us. You have our email addresses. We encourage you to check in with us. We're glad to help you in any way we can to really hit the ground running this fall.